Yes. Welcome back. I'm your boy G Baby. This is the G Spot Podcast Show. I got one of my no homo favorite people in the world. Every time we chop it up, politics, sports, etc., etc., it doesn't matter. I'm very proud of my man, Wilson. He sells insurance, and we're gonna tell you the benefits where you need life insurance. Everybody be faking, but you need it. But first and foremost, how you doing?
Man, great. It's on this great Wednesday. Happy holidays, everyone. Happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate, happy holidays. Shout out to everybody who's on the whole I don't celebrate holidays. Just spread love, man.
Right,
it's
yeah.
all love, man. Either way, it's all positive.
You just ain't had that bread this holiday because shit is high.
Exactly. And it's okay if you don't.
Yeah.
Shit happens.
All right. And, where are you from?
Born and raised Alexandria, Virginia.
Okay, and you did it in Westpo.
Correct.
All right. You played football.
Correct.
And before we go any further, I want to say, I think what was his name that got injured, and you end up getting a starting spot, and you.
You talking about when Norman got hurt?
Yeah.
And somebody else got hurt. I forgot who it was, and that was my claim to fame. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't know that.
I remember that. Yeah,
and you know what? I respect that though, because I always tell people I was the fly on the wall.
Yeah,
I don't got a lot of kick it.
Right.
What was it? The second quarter I became popular.
Yeah. Wasn't out there moving shit.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And shout out to Howerton for all them leg work with the sled with the wood. If you could, no homo. Because if you couldn't do nothing else, you could squat and you can hit that sled. If you couldn't do nothing else, West Potomac football.
I feel like Howerton had the perfect setup. Instead of, because dudes wasn't lifting weights after school, or they wasn't about to wake up 5 o'clock in the morning to
You know what? That
lift
makes
weights.
sense. That's why he came to us. It was like, you taking weight training.
Yeah. He get you right then and there.
That's smart though, because you going home to play PlayStation.
Yeah.
Yo.
And y'all was probably the last breed of West Potomac football players to be cut up like that.
That is true.
Besides that, I would say that 08, 09 class, they really invested in
was
football.
good though.
Yeah. After that, they started investing in going to lift weights at the gym, because y'all were bad on us.
Yeah.
Because after Howardson left no more weight training, dudes wasn't going to get no lift in. You know what I'm saying? Y'all had 4'2", 4'3" people, and then you had people lifting 500 pounds, 400 pounds. Yeah, so yeah, definitely that.
And remember, you had to, I think Howerton had a rule that you had to commit yourself to a certain period of time over the summer. Remember, you had to come to the weight room a couple of days throughout the week over the summer.
Yeah.
You had to come to the weight room a couple of days throughout the week.
Definitely. So he had to, he made you come over the summer. Yeah, dudes wasn't going to no summer workout. I remember when Henderson came out one day and he had like a chart. I'm 6'3". I don't need the weight room. I was already big. I'm sorry to say that. You know what I'm saying? But now if I go back, I would definitely pump iron heavy. You know what I'm saying? Those of you young recruits out there, man, pump iron, get it in. All right, and then after Westboro, you went to prep school.
Fort Union Military
Now,
Academy.
explain to people what prep school does for you.
Okay, prep school can do a lot of things for you. A lot of people don't know that. Number one, it can get you academically ready. Okay. Number two, it can get you. Say if you're some people may have academic trouble.
Yeah.
But say if you have a scholarship or you're trying to go to a school where it's very, very academically demanding. Some people go to prep school to get their essay writing skills up. Some people may go to prep school to learn better science because their science skills could be weak. Okay. So prep school is kind of like sitting out a year in the NFL for a quarterback.
Oh, okay.
It gives you that 1 year you can learn, and whatever you did wrong, you can make it right.
Because they don't understand when you drop out, your transcript doesn't close.
Correct.
So when I went to Fort Union, the coach pulled me out.
Correct.
And he was like, "You can play here," but he said, you bring your transcript and your tape to his combine."
Correct.
But he was like, "You got to drop out." It didn't make sense at the time, but people didn't know the game.
Correct.
Half of these NBA players and NFL players,
Correct.
9 times out of 10 dropped out to get a 5th year.
Because what they do is, that's a great conversation we're having. It's a legal game, because what they do is you dropped out of school. but another state can say, we want Georgie here. He dropped out, but this is whatever prep school academy or whatever. What we're going to do is we're going to fix him.
Yeah.
And that's what prep school's sales pitch is too, though.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't know prep school's sales pitch is we'll take a Georgie and a Wilson who needs some academic help or whatever, and guess what we'll do? We'll make them academically ready for college.
Because you find Bama's in there, they be like 25, 28 years old.
Correct.
Yeah, they
But you know what? I always tell people, Georgia, I respect them because they could have quit and walked away.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
They could have quit and walked away.
Live your dream. Live your dream.
Yeah, so I always tell people, like, anybody who's, especially with my transition going through the IT, I was just a teacher. People like, man, oh man, you 36 or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we gonna get into all that.
You know what I'm saying? So how you gonna do that? I was like, for real, like coming from Fork Union and especially how we grew up, it's gonna have to come to a point that like you gotta do something by yourself. And I'm not, but how we grew up, the entitlement, the nepotism. You know what I'm saying? Telling someone you about to do something that could trigger somebody.
Oh yeah.
So
hateration is heavy in the DNA.
He's more upfront. I'm just like litigating a little bit more.
Before we get into all that, so you end up going to Norfolk State.
Correct.
Your father's
A&T graduate.
Yeah, okay. He really wanted you to go there, and we understand following those footsteps. But you also applied to other places too and got in.
And you know what? That's funny you said that. For all these younger dudes out here, chase your dream. You never know who's watching, who will observe you.
Yeah.
One of the things I observed when I was at Fork Union is that when you play at those type of schools, you get more exposure.
Right.
So what happens is at a game, Pitt might come to a game.
Yeah.
UNC might come to a game. NC State might come to a game. Appalachian State might come to a game.
Those prestige institutions draw prestige universities. Yeah.
So like prime example, someone who you might think is valid on this spectrum, he may go to a prep school, play basketball, football, whatever sport he play, and what happens is, what do you do with a school that's getting popular right now, like Norfolk State with basketball?
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they've been to the tourney a couple of times.
Exactly. So now, if you went to this school and they said you couldn't play on this level, but what happened was you may not have been good, but if you can survive against this type of competition, that also says something about you.
Oh, okay. I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, okay, he may not be good, but if this person all state or this whatever, just throwing it out there, and he's a point guard, but he handled his own against these guys, and all these guys are going to Kentucky, Arizona, Norfolk State, another popular 1AA. I want everybody.
I'm trying to tell you, any school, any player that played good against Duke going to the NBA.
That's
Eric
true.
Maynard, even Curry played. He's going to the league.
Correct.
If he had a good game against. Was it culture shocking to you going from predominantly a white school to HBCU?
It was more of a culture shock because I was at a military academy with all dudes.
Yeah.
And then I went to a HBCU. But at the same time, it was good for me because when you're at an HBCU, I could actually hunker down on my books.
Okay.
See, at them schools like Virginia Tech, University of Florida, especially like Miami, man, you're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
And it's about graduating and doing your work and focusing on the weight room instead of working on having a good time.
Okay.
See, a lot of those schools, like kind of like with the NCAA kicks in, kind of like with Southern Cal, Miami.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's how do you focus when, like Reggie Bush, like I always told you, I defended Reggie Bush. This man's 20 years old, has the potential to make $15 million. No disrespect, he wasn't thinking about that biology paperwork.
Oh, no, sir.
He wasn't thinking about economics and chemistry and English 215 Shakespeare literature. Like I was trying to tell you, I can't. Now, what do you do what should I do? Because I always defended him. You're stuck between a rock and a hard place because what should I choose? This biology essay to turn in on Wednesday, but the agent just gave me the, like I told you, the bins he had. Remember the bins I always tell you? So what do you do?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So they said Terrell Pryor had 6 businesses on Ohio State campus.
And you remember the thing on 30 for 30? The guys who weren't getting no playing time, they said they hang with Reggie. I'm famous.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, the system kind of jaded them a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But at like an HBCU school, it's a little bit different. Yeah. And shout out to Dion for showing the ins and outs of the HBCU. Oh yeah,
definitely.
I appreciate that, man.
We're gonna get into that. Did you initially go to Norfolk to play football?
Yes. Yes. And what I eventually wanted to do was there was a school out in it was a 1AA out in like I keep forgetting the name of it. It was out in Texas. And there was another school in upstate Philadelphia, and there was another Division I AA out in like Colorado.
That offered you.
Yeah, but at the same time, Georgie knows my parents very, very well. Yeah. And they're not going to let their son at 18 years old go that far away from home without driving or phone call within a 4 to 5 hour distance.
Definitely.
If you know my parents, you know. So that was kind of like shut down. But most importantly about the whole football thing was my family wanted me to more graduate and have a life than focus on football.
It's kind of funny because me and you go through the brother versus sister issue because your sister, she actually went to
A&T.
Why didn't she, your father went to Norfolk, why didn't she go?
No, my dad went to A&T.
Oh, your dad went to A&T?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought your dad went to Norfolk, my fault. Oh, okay. But she still wanted you to go to an HBCU.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
But you have to understand this also, because coming from a PWI, they knew how I got down. So we're gonna throw it out there. They knew how I got down, so they kind of felt that it'll be more of a fit because I could lock in more at an HBCU.
Oh, okay.
Because you ever know at PWI, you can have a good time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, my sister, my family thought that was rendering me.
Oh, all right.
So if I'm at Norfolk, where I'm locked in, where and shout out to Will Sharp, Joyner, and all the other Fork Union dudes that were there that we all stuck together because we all had that hard time when we was there. Yeah. Because we all were there together. So we all knew what it took socially to make it there. Yeah. But at the same time though, at those PWIs, you're more loose on a string out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Remember, after football, you're just a regular.
Right.
When you go to an HBCU, you can make more of yourself outside of sports.
Oh, okay.
And you have better networking. Right. To me, I feel like I would have had. Don't get me wrong. If I went to a PWI, I felt like I just would have been another number. But I feel more like a human being when I left Norfolk because it was more closely knit. Of friendships and bonds. Okay. And shout out to Cali and Deuce because I'm wearing their brand right now. Okay. That's one of the things I've learned about going to an HBCU is if one of your friends has like a business idea, clothing idea, or whatever, support it. Go buy a sweatshirt. Go buy a hoodie. Yeah. Come to your friend's podcast and say something.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Stuff like that. You know right. Because which is very, very powerful. I was listening to a social media video and Dave E said this, and I'm gonna post this. We support everybody else but the people around the way. Our friends trying to start a business, you didn't say hi. Yeah. Your friend just graduated from college, you didn't even say congratulations on Facebook.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
But what happens is he gets that job making $250 at that corporate firm, and you wonder why you didn't email him back when you sent him his resume though. Yeah. Stuff like that. But you're happy for all the NBA and NFL athletes because they made it.
Yeah, most definitely. Now that you have graduated and stuff, I was watching CNN and they were saying that they're not really forcing people to go to college anymore, students, because they saying that if you take some Google classes, the pay amount is equivalent to someone having a college degree. How do you feel about that?
Yes and no. But because I'm a straight shooter, me being a minority male of color, I feel like I need every educational skill set possible. Okay. Because I feel like that makes me more marketable. Okay. You know what I'm saying? It makes me more marketable. Now with those Google certs and all that, don't get me wrong, go for it. Because don't get me wrong, the IT field is booming right now. And if you have any type of certs, I tell anybody, go for them, apply for jobs, go for it. But when it comes to, for me, I prefer that how much skill sets and education you can makes you more profitable. Now, just because you got, say, the cloud and the CAS and the Linux cert, and I only got a college degree, that doesn't make it hostile, because at the same time, everybody's going to blossom in their own way.
Yeah.
So if you felt that you had to get your IT Google certs, and I felt like I had to go to Norfolk State, work a little bit, then go the IT route, you know what I'm saying? If that's what you felt that you had to do, go for it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? For me, I felt that,
because they said that if you graduated with a degree, you're supposed to minimum 75,000 supposed to make.
you know, which is
I know some
partially
people
true.
that got 2 degrees don't even make 40, shorty.
Now that's a great topic. Now that's a
Right.
great topic. Now it goes a little something like this. When these people go get these degrees and masters, okay, let's talk about it. If you have a CPA and a master's in business, the pile is like this high, right?
Yeah.
But kind of like with my situation, I have a communications degree, but I have the CASP cert and Security Plus cert and CCNA cert. So
Right.
instead of this pile here, I kind of went to this pile.
Yeah.
And I kind of felt like I told you before last summer, I felt more comfortable in this pile going in this pile.
Right,
Either
right.
way, you're going to have to compete.
Right,
but
right,
I felt
right.
more comfortable in this pile.
Right.
Because nothing personal, and it's just me. And that's a great topic. You said that. The world is changing to the
absolutely.
computer digital stuff.
Right.
So
yeah.
so I could see why you felt the Google search could get you employed quicker.
Yeah.
Because a company needs someone who can reset passwords and help re-image the device and help their new employees learn how to use the printer correctly using the Google documents. Then, okay, I got a finance degree. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you feel like which is, in my opinion, you know, it depends on, not disrespecting nobody's belief, but these IT certs is kind of the way to go. That's all.
Definitely.
And remember, kind of like what you said also, is that when you go chase these masters and all these degrees, between me and you, they're not going to tell you this, the equivalent of debt you take in.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you take a lot of debt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So don't get me wrong, you did get your MBA, you did go to Georgetown, but what they not going to tell you this is that their parents had to refinance their house. That's how they gave you the 50. You know what I'm saying? They had to work, somebody else, family member worked another job and helped your parents slide that under the table. You know,
when you graduated, did you even have any type of idea what you was going to do?
Yes, I did. When I first graduated, right, I came home, graduated with a purpose. But remember, in 2000, remember the stock market crashed.
Yeah,
and remember
2008, right?
Yep, and remember I just came out. So remember, in 2010, the market was just So what I did was I had to take a job. You know what I'm saying? I took the first job I did, work, but I was always growing and continuing to grow. That's what most people get it wrong when they graduate from college, or I got my master's. We still gotta grow and we still have to compete. We still gotta get better. We still have to compete.
Do you think when people graduate, certain jobs are just off the chart? Like
now here's the thing.
I'm not gonna disrespect, but these jobs have good benefits to them, like UPS, FedEx. You know, being a driver.
Correct. But here's the thing, I'm not disrespecting nobody's work
absolutely
ethic.
not
trying to go like that, right?
We're just speaking,
but the college degree gets you in the door.
Right. Okay.
Now here's the thing, if your family came from wealth, your family owns 7 houses and 8 McDonald's, that's an email away of how you can get a job making $80,000.
Right.
That's an email away. You
Yeah.
can call somebody, hey man, Georgie, you know what I'm saying? You know, he a good dude, just graduated. You know, his mom was a big time investor for Burger King. Hire him, you know, that's easy. But for someone like Wilson, he had to literally get on the groundwork. No phone calls, no emails. This is my favorite one. We'll keep in touch. We like you.
That's
my favorite one.
In the corporate
we'll keep in touch. We
like you. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm that type of person that just tell me no, we didn't like you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I'm that type of person. Just me. Don't play with my dreams or my ambitions.
Right.
So if you're not feeling me, just tell you we're not even feeling you.
Okay.
You know. But they gotta play the legal formality game.
Yeah.
Don't want to harass nobody.
Right.
Bully
They had
at
to
the
interview
workplace.
you, say that they interviewed the African American and all that stuff.
And that's a great thing you need to be mindful of. You know.
Yeah.
Because there's more qualified African American candidates but at the same time, we're still not getting picked.
Okay.
So that's why another reason why I felt I went to the IT field, because with IT certs, the brother got to know something.
Right. Let's talk about the jobs you had leading up to IT, because you, like you're saying, you got to keep working, you got to keep building. So when you graduated, you worked as well, did you have any internships while you were in school?
I interned for WPFW. That was a part of the that was a part of my program to get my degree, because you have to intern.
Okay.
You know, at a lot of colleges, you got to take an internship somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even if it's at the school or working here on the weekend.
What was your daily agenda like at working at the internship?
Making sure the studio equipment worked.
Okay.
Say if guests were coming into the studio, making sure they're okay. Before an interview or they started playing music, I will help with the day-to-day operations.
Okay.
Some days I'll put I'll type the events of what we're doing today.
Okay.
Or the next day I might be cleaning up because there might be people coming over.
Right.
So which was a great experience, because you learn the ins and outs of what it's like being in a studio.
How long was the internship for?
4 months.
Okay, all right.
4 months.
And you learned it like you enjoyed it?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
And that's another thing I think a lot of people, what humbled me is that when you start from the ground up, and when you get to that IT field and you got that nice check, you know what I'm saying, you appreciate it a little bit more.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially how we grew up, because we've been spoiled all of our lives.
Oh,
so
man,
we thinking Jordans, phone posits, PS5,
right.
you know what I'm saying? All that.
So you first graduated when you came home. What was your first job?
Substitute teaching.
Okay, substitute teaching. And then
I came into the life insurance.
you came into the life insurance.
And then
how long you been selling life insurance?
3 years now.
Okay, all right.
3 years now.
And then what else you did before you got into IT?
Just working and teaching.
Oh, okay.
I was just teaching. But
All
what
right.
happened was the income and inflation is so crazy around here.
Oh, yeah.
You can't make it off teacher salary.
Oh, no.
So that's why I was trying to tell
Especially
you
the
when I
fact
first
that
started.
I salute them. They get paid once a month. My heart goes out to you guys.
Exactly.
I don't know how you budget it, but you guys y'all guys are definitely mind strong.
Exactly.
I salute you guys.
Exactly. So I started noticing. I said, man, this ain't it.
Right.
So I went and got some IT certs, and life changed.
Yeah. How did you get into selling life insurance?
That's a great question. This guy was a substitute teacher and a teacher named Mr. Howard. Shout out. This how it works. Shout out to Morgan, HBCU grad. And me and him were just talking one day after work, and he said, I'm gonna help you make some extra money. And he said, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to look into life insurance and why it's important.
Right.
He said, I want you to go home and talk to your dad or talk to your uncle or somebody in your family about life insurance. I want you to come back and talk to me. So he said, yeah. So I did my research. My dad said life insurance is hell of important. It's hell of important.
Right.
Because that's another thing we can do as blacks is pass generational wealth back quicker.
Yeah.
Or God forbid somebody dies, income is still coming in.
Yeah, circling. Yeah.
So he spoke to me about it. Gave me this pamphlet, show why it's important, show me how you can sell it to everybody needs life insurance. I don't care, race, handicap, disabled. When they say everyone needs it, everyone needs it.
Yeah.
So he showed me the pamphlet, and then what happened was probably like around January, February, signed me up. Next thing you know, went to the class the next day. Next you know, it took me a while to pass the test because I'm gonna be honest, you know, I'm that type of person. I got to do it 3-4 times to get it right.
Hey, as long as you get it right.
You know what? I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know, for all our listeners and followers, sometimes it takes longer to get it right.
Yeah.
So what happened was got tested, passed it eventually. Next thing you know, I'm going around asking people, do they need life insurance?
Yeah.
And it's a nice little side hustle.
Yeah, definitely. So, I wanted to tap into, you have a podcast yourself.
Correct. Dope Info.
And it's two of your close friends from Norfolk.
Correct. And B Moore worked with us. And he went to Morgan. He knows Mr. Howard.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Okay. And, tell my, the followers, listeners about the podcast.
Okay. And so B, he went to Norfolk State. I known him since literally the first week I got to Norfolk State. literally. And I knew B more because we worked together, substitute teaching and all that other stuff with Mr. Howard and all of them.
Okay.
Shout out to Mr. Howard and B more. We came up with this idea of a concept of our podcast, but we wanted to have it more of an open dialogue and more of a voice for Georgie to have something to say.
Yeah, definitely.
You ever notice on a lot of these broadcasters and on these radio stations, me and you don't have a voice. You're there to be a number.
You're right,
but our podcast show, if you got something to say, you can really say it. And just because you may be a Republican or my views are different, we want you on the show. Because we like to. I'm that type of person. I don't want to hang around people that's everybody's like-minded. I want to hear your opinion. I want to hear her opinion. I want to hear everybody's opinion. And you notice that it's people say it's an equal platform on a lot of these shows. But if you come to those info, I'll show you that it's an equal platform.
Oh, okay, definitely. You being a HBC grad, Dion was the coach at Jackson State. First of all, how did you feel about that? His move going to Jackson State.
First things first, I commend Deion Sanders because one of the biggest things I've learned, once a lot of us reach a certain level of success, we don't give back. And shout out to the manager who gave me that gym, 15 minutes ago. I appreciate that. I appreciate Dion for coming back and showing those kids the way. Because number one, a lot of those kids would have never got that type of recruiting, would have never got that television broadcast. For all the black people who thought HBCUs weren't cool, the ratings showed that you liked it. Oh, them ratings showed that you liked it.
Them Caucasians was in attendance now.
Exactly. So, and also another thing I like what Dion did, he showed the difference between college game day on Saturday in Jackson State than a college game day at the University of Texas. It's different. You ever notice the bands was rocking?
Listen,
you know what I'm saying?
When I
the kids frying fish, cooking out.
I coached football at VUL and we went to Grambling. Damn near fell in love with them boiled peanuts.
Did you put honey on them?
Nah. Oh, okay. I just had this right. I got it. But definitely, those who don't know, he left Jackson State and he went to the University of Colorado. How did you feel about that move? Do you think? I mean, obviously, Dion couldn't stay there long.
Correct.
I mean, his name is just. It belongs on what is it, Power 5 schools and
let's talk about it from a money standpoint first.
Right.
From a money standpoint, we all know Dion's as a businessman.
Oh, absolutely.
We all know he's a
walking dollar. Yeah,
exactly. He's a walking dollar. What he showed to me was how black coaches should come into a HBCU and build on it and not take away. What number one I respect about Dion, he put out his own money to help some of those kids get workout suits. Because at HBCUs, it's not like Southern Cal where we can walk downstairs. Georgia, you can go get a hoodie, go get some shoes. It's not like that. What you're giving at an HBCU is what you're giving. So one thing I respect him is coming out the own pocket. Number two, I kind of feel another reason why he left, he felt betrayed. Remember that interview he came in, he said my wallet gone, my cell phone gone.
They robbed him. Both of his sons got broken into.
So I felt like he left because he was kind of betrayed. And also another thing I saw on Instagram was how it was something about ticket sales. And if he was bringing in all these numbers, he said somebody's lying because the paperwork ain't adding up. So I kind of felt that he felt betrayed because now here I am. Arguably, didn't he steal two of the best recruits or something?
And he took them with him in Colorado.
But they were with Jackson State with him first, though, right? And he took. So what I think Colorado did was they're trying to build their program up, right? But at the same,
Dion at Jackson State and Colorado, they're probably on the same level.
But it's less hurdles to jump in Colorado than Jackson State.
Right.
See, another thing, what he won't struggle with at Colorado is what he was struggling with at Jackson State. He reached out to Michael Strahan and asked could he donate. See, only thing he got to do now is send an email out and go up to the academic whatever affairs or whatever, and they gonna swap that out over lunch.
Right.
They're gonna go play golf or whatever they gonna do in Colorado. That's
definitely
gonna be fixed by next Wednesday. You know.
Yeah.
So when he noticed the discrepancies, but now he's gonna have some challenges when he goes to Colorado.
Yeah. Oh, they on his ass.
Yeah,
for sure.
Because they're expecting 6-4. But 2 seasons from now, they're expecting 6-4.
They expecting 6-4 right now.
That's not fair because you got.
I know that's not fair, but they think that's him having them recruits and him being the name that he has. They expecting 6-4 right now.
So in other words, we want that big bowl game check.
Yeah, right. That's now
basically
they want a bowl game right now. They want a bowl game.
But also,
I think it would be a good look if Jackson State go to Colorado and play. I like that. What would you say? You think that would be good?
I've never liked that because when you go play those big schools, by week 7, everybody beat up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But I'm saying the first game though. Usually it happens the first game.
That's all it takes, Georgie. Your receiver catches a bubble screen and it's cover 2.
Yeah.
The DN lands on his foot. That's 4 weeks.
Well, you definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Then your starting left guard picked up a blitz, but when he went like this, he jammed his hand and his wrist messed up. Yeah. So that's 4 weeks.
Yeah, and we want to bounce around because Dion was a teammate of E. Reed's, and E. Reed is the head coach of Bethune-Cookman now. How do you feel like that process and going from Dion? What you think that he should do, or how he should orchestrate it different from what Dion did?
Reed is less of a business brand. He's going to be more of a coach.
Okay.
More intimate with the players.
Yeah.
He's you ever notice Ed Reed has passion?
Yeah.
You ever notice he plays with passion?
Right.
So them kids is gonna realize by spring ball in February, you're dealing with a very passionate former football player, and a very, very passionate coach. Because they say he was a great teammate.
Yeah.
Not to love him though.
Yeah.
The big D lineman from the Ravens said Ed Reed loved him.
Right.
Everybody loves Ed Reed, but at the same time, the only challenge I see with this younger generation, they're going to have to understand this for all you younger generation that's playing sports and listening. When a coach is yelling at you like Coach Prime does, like you see on TV, it's out of love and it's not sneak dissing. It's out of love. Respect someone who gave it to you in front of your face and not behind your back.
Right.
Gotta respect someone who's going to give it to you in front of your face. Did you see that new video when he said, when Dion was like, things gonna change around here?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And if you got something to say it now.
Yeah. Let's go and get it out. Let's go and get it out the way.
Yeah. For all you youngsters out here, that actually came from a good place, and he's actually your friend.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? If he would have done what most of those coaches done, when you're just a number and he leaves in 2 years, that's when you can't trust him.
Right.
But this dude lets you know off the buck what's it going to be. And I kind of respect that. So one of my challenges with him is that how are you going to get these kids to come to Colorado when it's very, very cold? Like, how we had this cold Christmas?
I think Dion, just the name is going to get to Colorado. I mean, if I play corner or if I'm in the secondary and Dion give me a call, I'm going. I don't care.
But that back pedal different in late November, though. When it's cold and it's 15 degrees outside.
Right. Definitely.
That back pedal is a little different.
You diving into education, I wanted to talk about this because for real, it hinders my class and the classes before me. The grading scale is very, very different now.
Correct.
A 90 to 100 is an A.
If I would have had that.
Oh my God.
Just give me an 84. Just staying consistent on an 80 to 84 bracket.
And then they don't give homework because they say it causes stress.
I don't like that because if you want to be successful in anything, you're going to have to grind after the clock.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
If you play sports, you might have to stay 20, 30 minutes and watch the tape with your coach.
Yeah.
If you are trying to get a master's in finance, you're definitely in the library.
Yeah, definitely.
So I kind of feel that like there should be homework, but I'm not I'm not going to demand 15. If we're in high school, I'm not demanding 9 pages of algebra homework a night.
Oh, okay.
My goal is, say, if I'm a teacher and we're doing geometry, do you understand the concept of Pythagorean theory?
Yeah.
If we do algebra, do you understand why equal mx plus b is important?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
And the grading scale, do you think? Do you think they kind of did it for athletes?
I think they did it because test scores are low across the board. Teachers are catching flack, principals getting flack. Public education is under wraps as a whole. So I think people are doing this to save themselves because take this school over here. Everybody doesn't test well. Everybody doesn't do well.
Right.
Okay, we'll stop doing homework, but what we will do is we're expecting this of you.
Yeah.
So don't think they may have took homework away, but they're still expecting from you.
And you remember we used to have the homeroom classes, right?
Yeah.
One day out of the week, the whole entire day they had their homeroom classes. Do you think that's beneficial?
To me, it was beneficial because shout out to Mr. Grant for keeping it real.
Yeah, right.
Shout out to Mr. Grant for keeping it real. Shout out to Mr. Jones who told us the blatant truth every day. Who told us the blatant truth?
Yeah.
Very blatant truth.
Right.
So it depends who your teacher was, how you were mentored and raised.
Yeah.
Because, our parents gave it to us straight like that.
Right.
So when we came across a Mr. Jones or Mr. Grant, it was just another day at the office. But if you're not used to that culture, kind of like what Dion's going through at Jackson State in Colorado, just like when he told everybody, the weight room lifting condition is going to be way different coming in spring.
Yeah, definitely.
Some people took it as, oh, that's a bet. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Other people is, man, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
you got to understand how it's all about how you were raised and what your beliefs were.
And before we go, you have had success in the IT field. Let's just talk about that process because I'm the one that I would have myself on the back, man. Wilson, jump into IT. This is the way to go. You did. This is the way to go. So you found out information. You took the cert, and it's been golden from here.
Correct. That's funny you said that. Always be on good terms with everybody that you grew up with.
Yeah.
You and my friend Corey from Norfolk State, and I have a dude named Griff from who went to Norfolk State. They were doing IT as that was one of their majors in college.
Okay.
And what happened was, when you're 20 years old and you see those beautiful AKAs, and Saturday, you're not thinking about computer programming. You're not thinking about your future. You're thinking about now.
Right.
And the Corey and Griff used to say, this computer shit is going to be the way.
Right.
All they used to say, this computer shit is going to take you where you
They seen
need
it
to
early.
be.
Yeah.
Yep, they seen it early. And then then you spoke to me about it and I spoke to them about it. And I said, you know what? I believe in the universe. So I signed up, took a boot camp course, got my Security Plus cert, and then took another boot camp course, and got my CCNA, and then studied for my CAS and got that one.
When you went on the interview, did they test you for anything? Like what they wanted you to know?
No, because the job offer that I took is basically mid-level. So I'm not working with Linux systems. I'm not working with PowerShell.
Okay.
I don't have to go in the command prompt yet and make sure all the settings go accordingly and all that.
Okay.
Now, when I get to the network admin, senior data analyst, LAN networking and stuff like that, that's when they're going to want to know, okay, what fiber optic cable do you use? How do you reset the password?
Okay.
What's the protocol?
So basically, those people in the IT field is level to this.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And you know what? This is a great teaching point. For all you people that's looking in to get into IT, there's nothing wrong with working with help desk.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody's like, well, I don't want to work help desk. That's like saying you want to go to the NBA and they said you got to be on the practice team for 2 years.
Yeah, right, yeah.
But you don't want to make $250,000. You know what I'm saying? Just go into practice, lift weights, and go back to the crib.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because some people might, especially where we come from, it might be beneath you because, I have my degree.
Yeah.
So I ain't going to answer the phone and tell somebody and type something in that someone computer broke.
Right.
You know? But at the same time, it's a humbling experience because for me, I had to put the groundwork in. So what I did was I didn't have no leeway, no network. Yeah. So I was going to career fair, virtual career fair.
Outside trying
to get it. So a lot of people don't understand this, and shout out to Dame Dash for Culture Vultures. You're going to have to go out and put yourself out there for a very long time, just to hopefully someone will email you or call you back.
Yeah, I got you.
So Jesus ain't coming on this one.
And I don't have a degree in some of my peers don't have, but they're in IT field heavy, and they've been doing it but they certificate up.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
And also, they're one up on a competition on me because they have more experience, more people seeing their body of work.
Right.
So, like I said, this is my second year, so I still got something to prove.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because all those dudes with them certs you just made, they've been in the game for all those years. Right. They don't have nothing to prove.
We talking.
I got for 2 years in.
World
I got to prove
Bank,
it.
Pentagon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so I got to prove it.
Yeah. What are some of your ultimate goals just in life, period? I mean, you're in career mode. I mean, your health is good. You lifting.
My ultimate goal in the next couple years is get into more investments.
Okay.
Like shout out to JMO, another dude I went to Norfolk State with. He's been in my ear about this real estate.
Yeah.
He's big on real estate.
Yeah, definitely.
And my goal is to get into that real estate because he shout out to JMO. He was talking about this at homecoming. If you get a group of people, right? So take that house over there, though, right? Mm-hmm. You know what people do is they go see how much that house is worth. Say if it's a rundown house and it's only worth $30,000, right?
Yeah.
You come up with $30,000. You can go to the bank. Mm-hmm. You can however you want to come up with the $30,000, right?
Yeah.
And what you do is you flip it. You flip the house. Mm-hmm. So say that house right there is only maybe worth $150,000. So we're going to go to the bank, however you want to do it, invest it, flip it, put your own money in, however you want to do it. And what he does is when you flip it, that house that was $150,000 on the market has now became $275,000. So all the people that invested in, once y'all make that money off the $275,000, remember you got to pay your taxes off that though.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, and then you split it. Yeah. Or you can split it, or do you want to? Our next venture, do you want to invest in a Chick-fil-A? Okay. You know what I'm saying? That's more real estate because you need a building
like
to run a Chick-fil-A. Kind of like a hedge fund.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
so that's my goal.
Right.
But I had to get a new direction first. Okay. I need a new direction. I crawl before you walk.
Right, definitely. Before we go, is it you already gave us some intake. A senior trying to go into college or Google, get some Google certificates. Like, what some advice do you have for them?
Talk to your parents first. Mm-hmm. Don't make your parents go into debt. Mm-hmm. Don't make your parents foreclose a house. Don't put your family or your close ones in an economic bind. Okay, because what might be smarter, what college might not be for you, but if you go to Nova or you go to George Mason and take cybersecurity courses, get cybersecurity certs, if it's the cheaper route for you and your parents can say, hey, I got $40,000 saved up. Okay, won't you go to Nova and take those boot camp IT courses, take some certs, and then what happens is you can hit the job market, right? Now you can go with the Nova for all those credits that you did. Eventually, if you want to go get your bachelor's, go for it. But it depends on everybody's situation. Now, if your parents got money saved up and they don't mind coming out of pocket, in-state or out of state, go for it. But at the same time, for all you youngsters, think about your parents and your family's pockets, and most importantly, make sure that you have a plan. And it's okay that you're not going to college. As long as you have, my goal is to have a 5-year plan. Right. Just like when I went to West Potomac, when I left West Potomac, we're going to Fork Union, and then we had a 5-year plan to go to Norfolk State, and then we had a 5-year plan to teach, and then that's when we got into life insurance, and now we're into IT. So always remember, when you read anybody who's successful, they always talk about changing in 5 years. All right. They always talk about changing in 5 years.
Well, I thank you for coming on, man. It's been a pleasure. The knowledge it gets better and better every time, man. Even though them sorry ass Jets are stinking it up.
They are. They are. And you know what? This is a great moment right here because it goes a little something like this with the Jets, and I spoke about this for a long time, especially with Zach Wilson.
Break it down.
I've always asked, it's not about talent. How do you take someone from BYU and put them in the heart of New York City?
Right.
You got to, and now that's number one. Number two, BYU is a very, very sheltered school.
And
it's very, very religious. But he wasn't ready to see Soft Garner with the chain on. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't ready to see Big Dog Quinn. You know what I'm saying? Pull up with the leather jacket. You know what I'm saying? With a shorty on the side. So he wasn't I actually fought the upper management of the Jets because y'all should have had a conversation about culture before he came.
Right.
Because remember, he got drafted today. He stood next to them brothers. He said, you know what I'm saying?
Before we go, drop a jewel on us.
Drop a jewel. Get life insurance. Drink water. Most importantly, when you play pickup basketball, don't be the one to shoot the ball on time. That's what play defense.
Here we out.